Hello, everyone. Welcome to Everything Iconic with me, Danny Pellegrino. I'm here with the one and only my buddy, Ariana Madix from Vanderpump Rules. Ariana, how are you?
I'm good. I don't have eyebrows on right now, so if my eyes look weird, that's why. And everyone needs to just deal with it.
You look beautiful. You look stunning. How's the season going? How are you feeling as we're airing?
Motif here.
Yeah, I like it.
Thank you.
How are you feeling now that the season's airing? What's it been like?
Um, I mean, I love it. So, I mean, I've been feeling great. It almost feels like nature is healing that we're like back on. And there's so much fun stuff in this season. And you never know like what you film versus like what's going to be in the show. And I've been watching those like never before seen episodes that come on before and seeing stuff that I was like, oh my gosh, like that wasn't in the main episode, but like it's so important, the first episode, it was like I was showing these text messages in my backyard to Lala. And I was very calm, by the way. And I basically like proved her to be a liar.
Right. Why didn't they show that? I know we saw it when they re-air it. They put in those scenes, and I think that was an important one too.
Yeah, that was important. And then the second episode, when I'm at lunch with Lisa, I like talked to her about freezing my eggs and stuff over quarantine. And I talk about like why and, all this stuff. And I was just like, and especially looking ahead to tomorrow's episode with Katie and Schwartz and all the stuff that they're talking about with like their fertility and stuff. I was like, wouldn't you think that that would be important? But
Okay, I want to ask you about this. I didn't see that scene, but I did hear about you talking about freezing your eggs. So can you explain to us why for people who haven't seen that deleted scene?
yeah, I mean, I get told by strangers on the internet like constantly, which is funny because not one person in my family has ever made comments to me about getting married or having kids. Not one. Never. Not even my 92-year-old grandmother. But people on the internet seem to love to try to tell me what I can and can't do with my own life, my own body. And one of the things that keeps coming up or kept coming up was, well, you're running out of time. So Tom's going to break up with you soon because he really wants kids, which, by the way, he doesn't.
Right. I don't know why people say that because, yeah, it's a weird thing. I've noticed that too. And it's like, why are you putting words into Tom's mouth? Like, I've never heard him say.
His
Yeah.
whole thing was that, like, if someone told him, like, he can't do something, that's where he doesn't like absolutes in that way of, like, being told what to do. And honestly, I don't either. So for me, I was like, I have the time because we weren't going anywhere. We were not leaving the house. I had the time. I was able to, I could afford to do it. And I felt like, well, I might as well just do this now because I don't know what's going on in life. And also, I just feel like for me, it's about having control over my life. And I'm really big on being able to do whatever I want, whenever I want, and figuring out how to make that happen if there's an obstacle in the way. And so I was like, you know what? I feel like doing this. And so I took agency over my own body and went and just got it done. It was
I love that.
easy, but I did paint in my kitchen.
Oh my God. Wait, so did Sheena like sort of help you through the process? Because she did that too, right?
Yeah, she did. So Sheena and I actually had talked about doing it together. And she did help me through the process. We were going and getting acupuncture together every week and going to our doctor's appointments together. And, obviously her journey was she went in a different direction, but yeah, she was actually the one who, so when you have to give yourself the shots in the stomach, the first time I did it, I fainted in my kitchen and I like knocked my head on the wall like really bad.
Oh my God.
And so the next time that I went to do it, I was like, I don't know if I can actually do this. Like, I don't know if this is going to work out. And I FaceTimed with her and she was like, well, that's not the right needle. The needle that you put in your body is like really small.
Wait, so what were you jamming in your body?
You can literally see like the hole, like I'm looking at something that's like this and I'm like, how the fuck? And am I supposed to stick that in my stomach? But
God. Okay, I want to talk about the Sheena of it all, the Sheena and Brock of it all. I find this to be the most fascinating thing about the whole season. Like, I'm loving the Brock and Sheena dynamic, and Sheena's mom and the relationship between Brock and the mom.
Yeah.
What do you make of all of that? And also, do you think it's weird that they named the baby Summer when he has a baby named Winter?
Well, I love the name Summer. I love Summer, the baby. She's everything. But I don't think I knew that at first. And I was like, that's interesting. Yeah, I don't know. I don't want to like dog on other people's like, because it's like names and people you're born with it, or you were given your name and it's your name for the rest of your life, really. So yeah, I don't
I love you.
I mean, it's interesting, right? I mean, it's a choice. It's a choice for sure. I know that Sheena really wanted that name, and I don't know. I guess it is
what it is. It's all happening. What's it been like filming with all of those other people? I'm sure you've been asked this a million times, but of course we lost so many of the OGs, Jax, Kristen, Stassi. What was filming like, and who did you miss the most? And who were you the most happy to be gone? And why was it Jax?
Just kidding. And why was it Jax? Yeah. I feel like it's fresh. I know there's some people who I see the comment, it's not the same. Well, I don't think it's supposed to be. Like, I really think that that's kind of the point. If people wanted it, if it was going to be the same, then it would have been what it was. But I think it feels new, feels fresh. And honestly, I feel like there were a lot of times too where, especially last season, we had such a big cast because we had like a lot of new people and all the old people as well. And it felt like watching the show that what was going on, you were never able to get below the surface of anything because there just wasn't time. And so I feel now with this smaller cast, I feel like you are able to get deeper into a lot of the issues and what's happening. And I think it feels great.
Talk to me about the Lala situation. You guys didn't see eye to eye at the beginning of the season. And as you said, there was a deleted scene where there were some receipts that you presented. How are you guys now? And were you able to work through all of that?
How are we now? We have had we continue, I feel like, to have ups and downs. Like, I feel like our friendship is a little bit of a roller coaster right now. Obviously you're going to see like more of that in the season, but especially in that first episode, like, and there was so much more that she had said about me that really pissed me off. It wasn't,
like what?
She said that I only care about people who are underdogs. And I was like, well, then now you're just insulting my friends and calling them underdogs, which
by the way, that's a good quality to have. I mean, I love who doesn't love an underdog?
Yeah, I mean, she kept saying like, and then she said she couldn't wait to see me because she wanted to duke it out. And then obviously when I was like, all right, I'll duke it out with you, she just left. I think the issue with me and Lala is that I think we just struggle to see eye to eye on certain things. I think that there's just times where I think that she says things that are really cold and callous. And I'm like, aren't you supposed to be friends with that person? Like, wouldn't you want to have a little bit better level of understanding, or, the idea of like popping off. And I'm like,
get popped?
Yeah. And I'm like, that's so silly. That is so dumb. Like, what does that even mean? Pop off. I don't know.
Right.
Say whatever.
I have to ask you, and I understand that probably you don't want to talk about it, or maybe you can't talk about it, but there are all these rumors that something happened with her and Randall. There were reports online that maybe he was photographed with other women in a hotel in Nashville, and then she was videoing herself going into the Beverly Hills Hotel. Is there anything you could say about that, or should we just move on?
I think we should just move on. I only know what you know based on the internet. So,
right. I had to just ask.
Of course.
Otherwise, people would yell at me. They'd say, Danny, why didn't you ask about the Lala Rand?
Yeah, no, I mean, I know exactly what you know. So,
Right. Okay. So Katie and your Tom, they never see eye to eye. And Katie
never.
has been getting involved in this bar, and she thinks the name should have been Once Upon a Tom. I saw some people online saying the bar could have been called Tomfoolery, which I love that name.
I hate that.
You hate Tomfoolery? Oh my God. So wait, what do you?
What is that?
Right.
I hate that.
Wait, so what's your favorite name out of all of them?
I don't really care what it's called. My belief is that whatever they call it, it will just be like, you know how like
Yeah.
okay, well, when Lisa first opened Pump, there were not many people in West Hollywood who were like, that's a great name. But then it opened and it was this beautiful place and everyone was really excited to go there. And I think that that's really what matters.
So we've seen Katie say that she wants to be involved. How involved do you want to be? Are you interested?
I don't want to be involved at all.
Right.
I have my own shit going on. I want to be, going in there for dinner and drinks from time to time, but I don't want to be involved in the business at all. Right. I got a lot of things on my plate and I can't. I like also the idea that like my spouse is the owner. And then so that means whatever I do for the business, I work for him. No.
One of the things I loved, I think it was in the premiere, is we got to see a little scene between you and Katie. And it's very rare that we get to see you two together. And I know you are friends in real life. And I personally feel like that's been one of the benefits of this season, is getting to see different dynamics than we've maybe been used to. And I'm hoping we get to see more of maybe like you and Katie or different pairings, because I feel like that's fresh and exciting.
Yeah, I hope so too. I mean, there's plenty of times, during last summer too, that, I mean, obviously off camera, we hang out all the time, but that you would see us hanging on camera. So I'm just hoping that those make it into the show.
Do you like Brock? That's a messy question, but how do you feel about Brock?
I like him.
Yeah. Okay.
I mean, I obviously I'm not engaged to him like Sheena is, like I don't have Sheena's always like, she's my number one. So like, a lot of the stuff coming up on the show, all these like major red flags about Brock's past and stuff. I mean, they've been together for 2 years now. So these were things that a lot of her friends, aka like me, talked to her about 2 years ago. And so there's been time to work through that. There's been time to see him kind of proving himself to be who he really is. And I honestly admire his ability to be so honest with who he is, because that stuff is heavy. And for him to just be able to talk about it, I do think that's great. And overall, yeah, I like hanging out with him. He's a very positive, upbeat person. He's great. He's a fitness person. So of course he's like a great motivator.
He's gorgeous too. He's beautiful.
He's a big guy. And I think he's great for Sheena, and, all this stuff, especially this season, it's like, if something ever happened, if they broke up, like I would be there, right. I would be there kicking his ass and taking care of her. So everybody else that seems very concerned, that wasn't concerned 2 years ago, it's kind of like, okay.
Oh, wait. So are you implying Lala is that she cares now that the camera's up? But
they weren't friends for the last 2 years. So now all of a sudden it's like they're friends barely. And she wants to come in here like she's the knight in shining armor of being Sheena's friend. But her real friends were there have been the whole time.
So do you think it's a genuine concern on her part, that because now they are friendly, so now because they've made up and it's a genuine thing? Or do you think it's all just for show? Or
at the time, I did not think it was genuine.
Yeah.
At the time, I definitely thought it was either making up for lost time and overcompensating for not being a friend to her for literally since her and Brock started dating. Or I also thought potentially like, how convenient of a time to bring it up.
But then
I watched the show and he brought it up. So
there you go.
Yeah.
Ariana, at the first episode, there was this whole thing about Lala went on a podcast and said some messy things about you. So, maybe we could get some mess started here. Is there anything messy you want to say about her or anyone else that we can get something going?
I do love mess. But she's, I think, the easiest person to go for because of like all of our stuff on the, that's happening currently.
You guys just can't get it together, the two of you.
No. Well, she's a mean girl. She's a bully who always, when she says something bad about someone, instead of just saying, yeah, I said that, I'm sorry, she doubles down on it and then makes the person she was mean to apologize to her.
Right. I was really happy to see Raquel, even though it sort of came out of nowhere when Raquel just went up to her and was like, I don't care what you think. It came out of nowhere, but I loved it. I loved it for Raquel.
Saving that one, you know, she was really ready to tell that.
Raquel and James, they just got engaged. First of all, I want to know how you reacted to that, but I also want to know, did Tom pay those vendors or did James reimburse Tom for the vendors?
Tom paid the vendors.
Thomas, what was he doing? What was he thinking? Why did he have to pay everybody?
I think what it was is he just felt like he wanted it to be exactly like how James wanted it. And he didn't want James to be worried about it, like, oh, but I wanted to get that, but I can't. I think he just was very excited for them and wanted it to be everything that they dreamed of. So he was like, if I can at least tell James, like, oh, you could split it with me, he'll be more willing to get the second fire.
I like that. Okay, so James and Raquel, they're gonna. Do you think they'll make it?
I mean, yeah, I think they'll make it. Listen, every couple, no matter how long you've been together or what kind of relationship you have, every single couple is going to have their ups and downs and their issues that they have to work through. I mean, if they didn't, then what are they? So I think that before they get to the aisle, who knows, they might definitely have some things that they want to work on as much as anyone else. But I do have a lot of, I love them together. And I think that they really balance each other well. And as long as I think that James is respectful to Raquel and those around him, I think they'll be great.
I feel really protective of Raquel, and I've only interviewed her once. I haven't really spent any time with her, but I feel very protective of that Bambi-eyed angel. And I don't want anyone to treat her poorly. I feel that way about Charlie too. And I don't know Charlie personally, but I love her.
I love her. I talk to her like pretty much all day, every day. Like we're texting about something. And I don't know, this is going to, so she's an Aquarius and I'm an Aquarius rising.
Okay.
So I feel like there's like this weird, like she is what I feel like I present as, but really inside I'm just like this really emotional roller coaster train wreck Cancer. So, but I feel like our Aquarius energies like really match up well and we have a lot of fun together.
Maybe that's why I like her. Because I also feel like you sometimes on the show I feel like in real life, you're more of an emotional person than sometimes I think you come across on the show.
Oh, yeah. I definitely, absolutely. And sometimes it's like, I know what I'm thinking or feeling watching something. And then there might even be another person, like one of my friends or on the show who says, oh, well, she's like this. And I'm like, wow, really? Because I was like freaking out inside. I think that's when people think I'm like low key or calm, what they don't understand is I'm having a fucking heart attack inside.
Internalizing all of it.
Yes. Yeah.
Anything else you want to clear up from the season? Something to come? Like anything else that you want to let people know?
I just want people to not forget that Tom Sandoval is a wonderfully kind, lovely person.
Is he going to have some bad stuff coming up?
I just think that the way things are kind of coming across right now, you're losing, his real motivation is always that he wants good things for everyone. And I feel like that's getting a little lost in everything that's going on with Katie and the bar and everything. And I just, although I will tell him off. Who knows how much of that you'll see, but like that's the core of who he is like just this sweetheart who loves his friends. So don't forget that.
And what else do you have coming up? You mentioned you're working on some projects. Anything you can tell listeners?
There's something that is definitely secret that you'll find out about maybe like towards the new year. And then I'm coming out with a box, a subscription / just order it online box, DFH cocktails. It's a cocktail experience. So not only will you have things that are in the box so you can make a cocktail that I've created myself, but you'll have beautiful glasses that I've selected, maybe some QR codes that you can scan for some really fun stuff that you could do to make the experience all that more fun. And then I might have something else that I'll be able to announce like very soon.
Okay, I can't wait. And I also want to encourage everyone to pick up the cocktail book that we did together called Fancy AF Cocktails. You get wherever you get your books. And just because you mentioned you're doing this cocktail thing, I do see a lot. People still have some confusion over, people will say, oh, Tom came into the cocktail book that you were doing. And it's a totally different thing. So I just need people to clear that up.
Yeah, I definitely still will see that sometimes. No, that is not what happened at all. Everything that I was working on my own was just so completely dead. Like
separate, totally thing.
Totally separate. And then I did your podcast, and that's how we met. And you were like, don't give up. You should do this. Yeah. And then we did it.
And then the whole thing came to light. Ariana, this was so fun. You know, I love you. And I want to encourage everyone to check out Vanderpump Rules. I think there's some good stuff coming up on the show from what I hear. So we all need to stay tuned. And I'm like literally on the edge of my seat with the Brock, Sheena, Erica of it all. I'm like,
I know. I love Erica. I love her.
Oh my God. I need more of her. I need more of her. All right. I love you. And hopefully we'll get to talk soon. Okay. Bye, guys.